what have I done? Okay, so we did a Kickstarter called Target Acquired. It was successfully funded almost 1.5 weeks ago. Our aim was actually to gain more attention because ours was more free to play mobile games. And yeah, I think it's the right momentum because we are launching in a couple of months, and we want to gain the exposure from the crowd that actually Kickstarter has. And Kickstarter is a great gaming community in Kickstarter.
My name is Rahmat. I'm from Digital Happiness. Our project is called Dread Out. It's funded a year ago on Indiegogo. So it's already released now on Steam.
That's it? Okay. I'm Ray Ditya from Equator Games. My project is Celestial Tales of North. It's a JRPG genre. So yeah, making an RPG is my, childhood dreams. So yeah, because the crowdfunding was success, I can make that now. Since making RPGs costing a lot of money. So yeah, I crowdfunded in April this year, and it's got funded. And it's supposed to be launched on Steam and several other platforms next year. So stay tuned.
Hello everybody, my name is Saji. I'm from Tiga Games, and we are Anton and Ray is the Kickstarter team, and only one Indiegogo, so choose a platform for crowdfunding wisely. We created a project called Pale 2D side-scrolling adventure for PC, and we already greenlit by Steam. It's about games that we became the villain of the. Yeah, we see that now there are superheroes there, and there are a lot of good guy in every games, but we choose different path that created the antagonist as the main character. And yeah, we funded in July 2014. And we expect to release the game in next year, October next year.
Okay, so if I may know, why do you pick that game or that project as your crowdfunding project? As in, do you pick crowdfunding first and then choose which game you want to crowdfund, or you already have the idea of the game and then you choose crowdfunding as the way to source your funding? So which way, is it the game first, or okay, I want to go crowdfunding and then you find the right game? Yeah, probably start with IG then.
Okay, maybe we have launched several products, and we see that we need a lot of support from players, from markets, and we see that the crowdfunding platform is the one of good way to realize our projects. Like we have an idealism that we want to create a specific product that cannot be achieved by just pitching in Indonesian market or Indonesian investors. So we see the crowdfunding platform first. And we see that the trend in the creative industry, digital, especially, that there are a lot of mobile game developer games, hardcore, midcore, that already successful back in the crowdfunding platform. And then after that, we had one of our concept that in the freeze box that we cannot create the game because of lack of money, something like that. And then we put it out the ideas and match the idea with the crowdfunding platform.
Actuator Games is a new studio. It founded last year, so I don't think I have any games before. So we go game. We have the concept for a game. For RPG first, then okay, how do we get money from this? Do we start a pitch to publisher or something? And then we decided to go to crowdfund, because we see that a lot of games are successfully crowdfunded and in Kickstarter or in Indiegogo. So let's try this. So we have a concept of the game, we polish it a bit, then just launch.
It's about the same. We got the game ideas first. We got the demo first last year, and then we got we need to know if our product is marketable or not. So I think the crowdfunding is a good platform to get to know your product. Is it your product? Is it really your product is good enough only by you and your team, or is it acceptable for all around the world? So I think that's the reason we choose crowdfunding.
So for Touchstand we believe the word crowdfunding. The crowd is more important than the funding itself, because with the crowd we have the right feedback, the right motivation to actually make a better game. That's why even the idea of the idea of Kickstarter came really late during the development. We even already contacted, and by the way, if you don't know, Matsumai-san is here, and Alex. I really want to thank them for helping us out with the soundtrack, and that actually really helps us also a lot to gain attention in the Kickstarter as well. So we already got the plan to make the game, and we just want the crowd, not the funding, to be honest.
Okay. So you guys have picked quite a different platform. So one is Indiegogo, and probably the rest are Kickstarter. Is there any? So how do you pick between Kickstarter and Indiegogo? Is there any specific difference between the two platforms?
Let's start with Indiegogo first.
I think last year, I don't know about now, the Indiegogo it's an international crowdfunding platform. It's relatively easier for us since in Kickstarter there's a limitation about the region on the UK. I don't know, UK, American, Canada, New Zealand. In Indiegogo, it's basically all over everyone who want to crowdfund their project. It's welcome on Indiegogo. But I think the big difference in Kickstarter and Indiegogo, in terms of our project, since we are gaming, we want to make a project game. The gaming crowd in Indiegogo is not so well than we compare to others like Kickstarter. Kickstarter is really big on gaming market, gaming crowd, gaming. I think that's the biggest difference. But why we choose Indiegogo? I think it's relatively simpler, and then we do not have to have agency in the United States or something regarding the payment all over. I think it's simpler, but the gaming crowd is not so well implemented, better than the Kickstarter. I think that's.
I choose Kickstarter because, the reason has been said that the Kickstarter crowd is more supportive of digital games, video games. If Indiegogo, it's, I think the trend is more like board games or something. And social things. You could success like Dread Out in Indiegogo, but the traction is not that high. and because the crowd itself is not geared towards video games, I don't know, the feedback is good.
I think it's relatively the same about our backers and our funders. The feedback is also very positive in Indiegogo in our experience last years. So I think while in the Kickstarter have a really big market on gaming, gaming crowd is really good. But in Indiegogo, a gaming crowd is not so well. They got a big project like more social project kind of thing, and then industrial design product kind of thing. It's really good on Indiegogo, I think.
Okay. Well, the reason I choose Kickstarter is because the traction is better, and the bigger game industry is in Kickstarter. So it's starting with the Double Fine Adventure which is now called funded through Kickstarter with $3 million, I think. So the number is bigger on Kickstarter. They even a guy who made a Indiegogo campaign to make a video for Kickstarter campaign. I don't know how that works, but there's a guy that do that. So Kickstarter is bigger. So in my opinion and my team, I better go Kickstarter than Indiegogo. Even though Indiegogo is far simpler, you just have to register and launch.
Probably Ajian.
Okay, we choose Kickstarter because Aquata Games already succeed in Kickstarter before we launched the project, and it has more money than Indiegogo. No, but that's not the real reason. Basically, we did some research about crowdfunding platform. There are 4 types of crowdfunding platform. The first one is donation-based, reward-based, and the combine of the reward and donations, like Kickstarter and Indiegogo. And also the equation-based and the financial or lending-based. And we see that in this year, Indiegogo has more shifting from the reward and donations and adding one of the elements of the crowdfunding platform, which is the equity based. We see that which platform that can makes the biggest impact in our projects, and we see that Kickstarter has a really good community and Kickstarter is very close. Also, the community is with Steam community. So we choose we choose the right platform that can be work well with another partner, which is Steam. Yeah.
Well, for me, for us, from day one we are in a bad position because the internet hates mobile games. Right? I don't know why. Whenever I go to forum, whenever I go to even 9gag, they say, "Oh, it's a great concept, but mobile game yucks," and then they just leave or something like that. So so for me, it's more like, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, Indiegogo guy. I heard that Indiegogo charge more percentage than Kickstarter at the end. Kickstarter, it will, maximum 10% because 5% for Amazon and 5% for Kickstarter, something like that.
No, Indiegogo, it's only if you got funded, it only charge you 5%.
Only 5% in total.
Total.
If you plus maybe PayPal.
Yeah, mine's excluding PayPal.
Okay, so my consultant lied to me. Anyway, our consultant said that, Indiegogo charge you more, blah 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 blah. So I'm like, okay. So and then we choose Kickstarter for the same reason, because they have a great crowd. Yeah.
So I'm pretty new in crowdfunding. Is it possible for you to actually do both at the same time? Or, for example, if you fail at Indiegogo and then you go to Kickstarter right away, or mix of both?
Well, you could, but that would only lower your credentials. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that because that will confuse your backers. Your backers will say, "What are you doing? Why are you doing too? Are you that desperate to have that campaign? Yeah, are you trying to scam people or something? You think I'm stupid or what?
And also there's some haters. It's like there are Kickstarter evangelists and there are Indiegogo evangelists and there are flame war in the community.
So, what thing did you prepare before you actually launch your crowdfunding campaign? Is there any? So for Anton, I know that you have a cooperation with another partner in Japan. What did you guys do before the campaign is live?
Okay, since in Indiegogo we do not have to have a registered registered an agency or partner in outside of our country. So the first thing we prepare is our product and all the promotional thing and the social media thing. That's very important. We prepare it all before we go campaign on Indiegogo.
Well, for me, because one of the requirements of Kickstarter is having one guy or company in supported areas. By the way, the Kickstarter is no longer supporting only US and UK, but also New Zealand, Netherlands, and Australia, Denmark, Norway. Lots of countries now supported. So, okay, you have to have one of friend in there which have bank account or something, or a social security number if you are an American. So the first thing we do is searching for our friend that in those areas. Hey, do you want to help me or something? Yeah. Then after you have a friend agreed to help you, then we prepare the product itself, the video, the concept, and start making accounts for gaming forums. Nobody will read the news post, the post that was created by someone who only have one post. So we have to start earlier and start posting and discussing. So when the campaign goes launch, we already have 200 posts and more. Well, I'm an important person in this forum, and you should hear about me. Okay. I'm having this project that you will like.
May I add one more question? So how long before the campaign is live you prepare? Like 1 month before, 2 months before?
Well, for me it's 3 months.
The first one, the partner things that we know that the Kickstarter must support the account from the United States. Yeah, a lot of countries that they are very strict about the countries and the payment system. Actually, it's because the payment system that Kickstarter focus on how the payment system in that country that can support the Kickstarter project. So they choose very, very strictly. And then we're searching for the partners from the UK, from the US, from the Australia. But we met one person he's from Google called Deep, and he is already helping his friends in Kickstarter projects. Yeah, so we met with the emails and Skype, and then we have common that we really like the concept of the games and very willing and agreed to help us. Yeah, and the process takes 4 to 5 months to us to prepare the Kickstarter project.
Well, actually, when I said 3 months, it's 3 months to the first campaign, which Equator Games failed in that. Okay, Equator Games actually have relaunched the campaign, and the second one was the one that's successful. The first one is failed. If you count the total number for preparation is about 11 months.
I think we did it in 3 months. 3 weeks. 3 weeks. So, and in between the 3 weeks, I was going back and forth outside the country and stuff. If I could if I could redo it, I think I want to do it with more preparation. I would start with engaging people in Twitter, in forums, engaging the media more, just being proactively telling people that who we are and stuff like that. But in the internet, there's a lot of scammers and scams. So in any country, even in the established country like Japan and US, people are still very skeptic if they don't know who you are. They're not gonna just give you money just because you have a cool graphic or something like that. So we discussed with the team, and I'm not a handsome guy, but I have a good smile. So I made a video, and I guess that kind of worked.
Okay, so how do you guys decide in the terms of like rewards? So like the pledges, like $10 get this, 15, 20. How do you decide on the stages? Yeah.
Can I start? So I think it really depends on you. But if your goal, you have to do some maths before you set the reward. I think if your goal is like 10,000 or 20,000. Then you have to calculate, okay, to reach 10,000, if all my rewards is like below $50, that means I have to collect like 2,000 people or something like that. Do you think 2,000 people will back you? If you're a celebrity, it's fine. Oh, I am blah blah blah, and I'm doing Kickstarter, boom, $1 million or something. But if I'm from Indonesia, yay, okay, people will not, nobody will just give you money like that. And therefore, I think if any one of you want to do Kickstarter, you have to see your goal and then try to see how many people to get that goal. And then, try to make it, the minimum reward is mathematically correct with the goal that you want. If you're raising like 100,000 and then all your goal is like $5, that means you have to like 20,000 people, right? That's crazy. I don't think, unless you are Michael Jackson or something.
To be honest, the first reason I go to crowdfunding is last year's our aim is to go to digital distribution through Steam. So we believe that one of the key of they accepted our game into Steam is crowdfunding success. So okay, we need to get the crowdfund, and then for about the target, I think actually that's not the actual budget of our game. So we tell other people, hey guys, we got this game, and can you lend your hand to help our game, to finish our game, just like that. So the budget of the game is not the budget of our crowdfunding. It's not the actual. Yeah, I think that's the just come on guys. This is we got the demo. If you like it, you can support us in Steam Greenlight last year, and then if you want to, if you really love it, you can back up our product in Indiegogo. So in the term of our target is we just doing the math. Okay, let's say what we need to boost our development cost. So that's the actual budget actually for the next months of our development.
So the question is about how
do you
set
start
the
your
entire-
yes the progress?
The first thing first is because you have a video game, right? You have to set the price that your game will be sold at. So if you want to sell your game is at $15, so you can set because you are helping us on making this game, so we give you a discount at $12, $11, or $10. Then after that you can add some perks like original soundtrack or something, and you calculate that number. Okay, how much does original soundtrack cost? Oh, about $10. Okay, then add $10 to that, and so on. After you start promising non-digital things like box set or something, you have to calculate of that. How much does that box cost? That physical disc cost? Then add it to the tier with the addition of shipment cost. So don't forget shipment cost. Okay, then of course there's always a God tier reward, like if you want $1,000 you can become a god in our game or something. People do not depend on that, but always have that, because sometimes people really support your game that they will spend $2,000 for to help you. But if no one back on that tier, it's no problem, because your target is not actually there.
Okay, I'm just reading the tier that the Ray has said about the reward systems in Kickstarter, especially that. We know that a lot of projects in Kickstarter is based by the real things that they achieve, not in digital base. Yeah, and then it's really the differences is really big. But yeah, like Anton said that we are from Indonesia and we still new in the Kickstarter world, so we must think carefully about that, especially about shipment costs and if our product is not delivered to the people that already backed us, it's become a big problems, and a lot of problems that arise, and then a lot of it's become one of the unresolved problems in some projects about the shipment, failed shipment, and then the cost is too high. A lot of things about that. Yeah, so that's become one of our challenges in making Kickstarter, because a lot of backers willing to pay more with our projects, but like they want us to make the the push door. They want to raise there are bakers, $5 bakers want to raise about to $50 or to $100 or even $500 just to have a door about our games. Yeah, it's become one of difficult decisions to make, that we adding the tier about one tier about we adding the physical aspects about our games, or we just put a lot of digital aspects like wallpaper, games, digital posters, something like that. Yeah, and also actually in our projects there are two amazing people that backed in $5,000. There are two $5,000 people in our projects, and one is I don't know his names, and there are no. We just communicate with email, and he don't want to attach more to our games. It's really weird. So like he just throwing their cash to our project. Yeah, that's there is some things that difference in each project, and we see that you must prepare for the lowest tier and the highest tier, and makes the tier is appealing as you could in Kickstarter. But also remember the realizations and the process, how to realize the product. So the main projects, we all created games. That is the main projects, not the another tier like doll or art book or the soundtrack or something like that. Yeah, most carefully.
So,
Yeah, I would agree, because we sell games, we make games. We are not in we are not in the tanah abang business. It's very hard, because we don't know the price, right? And it's hard to quantify. As I say, you ask people, oh, how much is shipping? In Indonesia, nobody knows it. I asked like the post office say ask FedEx. I asked FedEx, the FedEx say ask DHL, and the website is made by 8 years old or something. Very hard to find a real price.
okay, so I saw a lot of crowdfunding projects that actually gain a lot of momentum when they actually hit the goals. So how important is the stretch goals for your projects?
Okay, the importance of the stretch goal is basically we need to achieve their ultimate goal in our target. We want to build our games in consoles like PS4, Xbox One, something like that, and then we want to add in more elements, adding more gameplay, adding more soundtracks, and makes the ultimate edition about our product. Yeah, that's the one of the reasons they are stretch goals. And there are some campaigns, and we also do that until right now. That after the campaign is over, we open the PayPal systems. Yeah, lots of games did that, but we just open the PayPal system for the adding to our stretch goals, just for the digital items and digital backers, not the one that they have the art book on the box set or something like that. We close the items and the bags and the backers for that product, and we focus on digital only. Yes. Yeah. And also there is one of the games in Kickstarter called Star Citizens that already push to the 6 to 8 stretch goal just by the PayPal only after the Kickstarter. It's quite good.
Okay, one of our backers said that having a stretch goals is also telling people how serious you are on your project, because there's you have to reach a target, right? But sometimes you are not confident enough that you will reach your target, so we'll turn off this feature and things so we can go faster with lower cost. Yeah, the stretch goals is actually how your full games will look like. So it's not adding something at the end of the campaign, but it's returning to what your concept is. Okay. Two of our stretch goals in Celestian Tales of Old North is actually hiring an additional sprite artist and also hiring a level designer. So it's not some feature, but it's help you in building the game. So we can tell the people that we are serious in this, and okay, when we hire level designer, you bet that the level will be good and the balancing will be good and things. So it's not always have to be a feature. Okay.
Stretch goal. I think similar of the stretch goal. It's our ideal of our build, our game. Yeah, the ideal version of our game is our stretch goal. Yes, we do not adding while we're on the campaign at this at that. No, we already got the this is our ideal features. So then we got cut to get the smaller piece of development process. I think that's.
You touched on a very tricky subject because usually after you hit your goal, and we did it within like 2 weeks. After that, the motivation dies. I mean, in any campaign, when you hit the goal, okay, congratulations. What's next? You have 2 weeks to go, and blah blah blah. So the tricky part is to tell to be greedy, but don't show that you are greedy, right? So I mean, you already told people that 10,000 is our goal, but then hey, there is more. And if we hit this, we will get you Michael Jackson from whatever something. But yeah, so that's very tricky for us. But we managed to reach our second stretch goal within the end, actually to the very end of the campaign, a few hours. So yeah.
Actually, how do you guys keep up the momentum of like the funding? Is it like how did it go? Like, is it the first day is gonna go big, or like it's gonna be like this, or how do you actually measure the momentum?
Let me start, but I don't know about Indiegogo, but in Kickstarter, I heard from a lot of people that the ranking of in your category and in your top rank depends on the number of backers and the percentage of your funded percentage, and also your comments. That's what I heard. If you have lots of comments, that means people are talking about your project and blah blah blah. So it's very important to launch on the right date. To say, you only when you're launched, that means your momentum is there. People are like, okay, go. And if you have like maybe 10 backers within the next 10 minutes, your ranking will go up. But if you have 10 backers and then the next 10 days still have 10 backers, that means it's not good for your project. I heard like that. That's why we tried very hard to keep the momentum early on the day we launched. I heard also that never launch any project on a Friday, because Friday people want to party, right? They don't want to do something. It's good to launch on Monday or Tuesday. That's what I heard. That's where people are. Oh shit, it's Monday. Let's see Kickstarter. Oh, okay, there's a new project. Something like
that. The good thing of the crowdfunding, it's like a small version of your game sells later. So you need to work every day. It's just like yes, the money is the good thing. It's like okay, on the day of 25, people got paid. Maybe that's a good idea to launch your project. I think that's similar kind of thing. Don't launch your project at Thanksgiving. It's people's on holiday. It's something they don't care about your project. So I think that's a common thing.
Okay, if I have to add, don't launch your game on Steam Sales Day, because everyone goes to Steam Sales and no one goes to Kickstarter. Okay. Well, the thing is, having a Kickstarter launch is not just only doing one click, oh, it's launched, then just leave it there. Because there's a feedback and there's, if people feel that they are accepted by you, I mean, if they send an email at midnight, then you have an instant reply, 1 man standing by replying emails, then they would appreciate that, and most of the time they would increase. They have increased in the they increase the pledge. You look better in their eyes and things, and when you does that. How people, if people appreciate what you did, then they will, like social and things, and they will tell their friends that, hey, there's a good campaign here. So that is one way to keep the traction up. And another is keep updating, because if you update, then there's an email that goes to all of your backer, then they will have something better to say to their friends. Oh, this Kickstarter is having an update. Oh, the background is cool or something. So that would also keep the momentum, so it wouldn't drop.
Okay, I'm sharing some points. The first one is choose the date carefully with the 1 month of the preparation and 1 month of the execution is not too much competitors in Kickstarter world and in real world. Like Steam sales is one of the obstacles in Kickstarter, and one of our major problems in our project is we in 1 month there is E3, and it's really impact in the Kickstarter world. There are 6 projects must be closed down because their end of the day is the E3 conference. So it's really damaging the projects. And then we also must know that the time in Indonesia is different in the US and the UK. So we must prepare that if now is already Saturday, but in the US is still Friday, and we have to work in our laptops, and we must reply the emails, something like that. And it's really important. And still, the work days is the better days for the people back our project. And one thing that's really important in Kickstarter, from my experience is people like to doing some cross promotions from other projects. Like if there are a lot of projects, games or not in games, if we doing some cross promotions in their projects, a lot of the backers in that project is things that our behavior is, and our attitude is nice, and it's really supporting the ecosystem. We must keep everything positive in the ecosystem of the Kickstarter. One of the things that we can do is cross promotions and doing some cross buzz outside also the Kickstarter updates. And we also have a lot of friends making the cross promotions happen.
So all of you have succeeded in your campaigns, but let's say that you guys failed. Will you still continue with the games, or what will you do? Well, you can share your experience as well.
Okay, since our first campaign is failed, of course we'll be bummed up if you fail, but if you see it in different light, in different perspective, that we Equator Games is actually nobody. Yeah, but we managed to. I think it's 26. I think we managed to gather 26,000 on our first campaign. Although it's failed, it's a pretty big number, and the feedback from the backers is really positive. They really want this game to launch. So, well, okay, then we resume it. We'll make this game better, and we'll prepare better. Then we will relaunch the campaign. So that's why I say the preparation time is actually 11 months, yeah, including the failed ones. Okay, I think that's it.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
How many backers you have when you first launch, and how many when you relaunch?
Actually, I forgot.
Udah gak penting lah.
The first campaign is okay. I have my friend Cipto there giving me hand signals. Okay, the first campaign is about 600 people, and the successful campaign is 1,300.
And how many people actually back you the second time? I mean, when they first back and failed, the same people. Do you know?
It's about I think it's about half. Okay, it's about okay, about maybe half of them is backing the second campaign.
Yeah, what if we fail?
Malu you'll still do the game no matter what.
Malu sih kalau fail.
Right. We all
That's why we said 10,000. Okay. I mean, like I said, for touchdown, it's more of the crowd. That's why actually we already have the prototype and everything. We already plan to launch January or something like that. So the crowdfunding is just for us to have the platform to interact with the people. Yeah. So of course we will still launch. Of course.
There's a lot of reason to going crowdfunding. Probably top 10 is the user engagement is the most important of all of your product will shape up later. I think if we fail, we trying to find another funding. I think the funding for our game. I think that's it.
Still, we'll continue with your game no matter what. Okay.
If we fail, we cry. We go to another game developer and we cry together. We also agree with the touchdown's point of view that we wants to count first. Yeah, Kickstarter has good ways to validate your product to the market. Yeah, it's kind of if you know lean startup, it can Kickstarter is one of the ways that maybe speed up the startup process for the product. Yeah. So if we failed, we search for another funding for another platforms. We did not give up.
Yeah, so you guys all got funded, and so a lot of us actually are wondering what's next after. Okay, the stretch goals are finished and everything. So what actually happens next? You guys mentioned about like the fee and everything, and how long did all the money will actually come into your account, and probably you guys can explain more about what's next after campaign.
After finish, holiday lah ya. After finish, then there's 14 days for Kickstarter for Amazon to send to send the payment to the recipient that's maybe your agent or something. But then usually what we experience is 7 to 10% of the backers have credit card issues. You can expect people to have error in their backing, especially if you have 1,000 people. I imagine there's like 100 people error, and then you have to contact them one by one. And then your actual number will be smaller actually. What to expect is that after 7 days, if there's any credit card issue, then it will be dropped. Then you can give them a chance to, back us through PayPal or something like that. I actually did that with Tinker Games. My credit card was not properly done, so I was dropped, and then I did a PayPal for them, just to honor my promise.
He did that intentionally.
And after that, after 7 days, then your money can come and something like that.
Different from Indiegogo, I think it's relatively more faster. But it's 2 weeks, and we do not have to pay the tax thing. Since we don't have to pay the if Kickstarter, I think you got the 30% tax or something. I don't know, 10%.
What? There is tax?
Let me clarify that the 30% tax is actually an income tax, but the fund from Kickstarter is actually counted as donation or investment, so it doesn't get any tax.
Yeah. So for Indiegogo, how much is the percentage? How much is the percentage of the cut? Like how much?
If we get funded, we only cut 5%.
5%.
If we fail, but you still got the money, you got the cut 9%.
That's why. If you fail, you still get cut.
If you choose a flexible campaign, there's only on Indiegogo. In Kickstarter, there's only a fixed campaign.
Flexible means even if you don't reach the goal, you can still get the money. That's nice.
You should probably do it in Indiegogo.
But the percentage of the flexible funding is lower than fixed campaign. So if any of you trying to, don't go through flexible. Nggak pede bahasa Indonesia.
So another question, Rolly. How do you maintain the level of expectations of your backers compared to like what you offer? So sometimes like a lot of projects outside games, they actually the one project that say that they can actually identify how many calories in the food, whatever. But how do you maintain that level of expectations versus your what you can deliver in reality? Because sometimes like a lot of backers expect more than what you can actually deliver.
Yeah, I think you have to be honest from day one or even day zero that you can only do this and this is my price. If you don't like it, sorry, you can go to other Kickstarter place out there. Don't ever it's okay, I'll give you discount, whatever. I don't think it will end swell for you. Just be honest. And for us, like what Tinker Game did was I think Equator Gaming. Yeah, you said something about giving updates all the time. Yeah, I think giving updates makes your backer they will know that you are actually doing something. I think it's Equator Gaming. So you're actually doing something. You're doing something cool. Sometimes, and also I want to add that the updates goes out to not only your backers but people who click the remind me star. In Kickstarter, you can, if you don't want to back, you can say remind me, and the update goes out to them also. Then they will say, oh, okay, maybe they have changed of mind or something. So to keep expectation, just don't promise them everything. Just say, truthfully that okay, this is the situation, and we have a cool project, and blah blah blah.
My first tip is don't oversell your project. I mean, don't overpromise your project. Okay, that is the I don't know. I think it's the main important thing. So because if you say something and you cannot fulfill it, it's really bad. And Yeah, like real estate. No, no. The real estate is for non-stretch goal because we achieved the stretch goal, so the real estate is also stretch. Okay. 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 So well, don't overpromise and keep updating. I think that's all.
Yeah, giving updates is one of the things that can manage your backers' expectations. Yeah, but it's related to the previous questions. If we doing some updates, actually there are 3 to 4 people new people that donate to our projects by PayPal. Right now it's the kind of situations. And then also tell the story about the difficulties in making the games, and also what the opportunity or what the cool stuff that you found after you making the game in the process. Tell them to the bakers. They will know the story of the creating games. A lot of the bakers, lot of our bakers is not in the game developer area, and they didn't know how to making games. So tell them how the process is going right now. And yeah, it's really help the managing your baker's expectations. At least once in a month. Yeah.
Okay, and let me come back to the goals. So is it better to actually set a lower goals and then you have like stretch goals, or you have like a really like 20,000, 50,000 and more? Which one is better actually?
I think the better one is how much does your project actually cost at the minimum. So you cannot cut too much feature, but well, how playable is it if the game is if you lower the target too much. So if you okay, the project cost is actually 25,000, then you set it 10,000, so we can get funded quickly. Then stretch goal. Then what happen if you only reach 10,000? Okay, the project failed, and because you have less fund, you cannot do anything. That is one of thing that you should avoid when you launch a campaign in every crowdfund, not just Kickstarter or Indiegogo.
I think I don't have anything to add. It's perfectly done.
Probably this will be my last questions. Will you do another crowdfunding next year? Will you do another crowdfunding project next year? Will you do another crowdfunding project soon? Of course.
Of course, after we finish our project first.
Right.
Yeah, I have responsibility to finish my game first. We'll talk about that later after I launch my game.
Okay.
For us, digital happiness, I think is
No.
Since,
just focus on
I think this is only part of our process. I think crowdfunding is good. It can make a new business model kind of thing. So, but I think that's not what we are going to.
For us, you have to ask Fredrik Tirta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fredrik, will you do another crowdfunding?
But the real answer is, I think if we ever want to do, we will do a non-gaming, non-mobile gaming. I think it will be easier, just like them, more money.
Okay. Probably we can ask from the audience. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. I guess that's it. Thank you so much for answering, and thank you so much to be here. And thank you so much, you guys, for listening. Thank you.
Thank you.